Alright, welcome back to another episode of Dead Island 2. If memory serves correct, we're going to finish up some of the side quests, and then finish House. Call it a day. Now, I just came back from vacation. There was a little few hang-ups. For example, my mouse was in 2 pieces. I really wanted to play this game. Also, I made sure everything was working perfectly fine, including the microphone. Microphone was working perfectly fine. Windows updated and changed the name of the microphone. And then when I recorded 5 hours of footage, what was supposed to be automatically recorded audio, live audio, Duke, come here, boy. So there is going to be probably a few more cuts than normal. I normally don't cut.
The zombies are acting real weird around one of the lifeguard huts.
Is that good?
Probably just fighting over seagulls.
Alright, so yeah, I'm going to cut when I start doing something. Alright, doing something. Looks like I'm on my way out. Oh yeah, this is when I find out my mouse doesn't work. But so far, some really good news is it doesn't look like I need to buy a new mic. Now, I decided to play a lot with this knife here. For a handful of reasons. You know, the story reason why it was part of contraband confiscated by the police force is these things are wickedly illegal in the states which this takes place in. So our triangle-shaped blades and knives. And yes, that also includes Civil War era musket bayonets. Essentially, twisting a knife makes it give such of a unique wound cavity. Even when cutting, trying to slice something, it makes it almost impossible to sew and heal correctly. Same thing with triangle blades. Which this is technically a twisted triangle blade. Pretty much any twisted blade in the States is hellishly illegal. Same thing with triangle stabbers. But triangles are notably easier to deal with than
me or Pablo.
A wound cavity made by one of these fuckers. And I have not been stabbed by one of these or have used or owned one outside of a video game. And I'm just saying this partly because they're banned for a fucking reason. If that's not a valid reason for them to be banned, well, I don't know what to tell you. But essentially, the gimmick here is when you use it to kill an enemy, it transfers the bleed into an AoE type thing. Essentially turning a bleed stack into a Molotov cocktail. That kills everything and hurts everything but you. And anything that's immune to bleed. Also, there isn't a lot of footage about that knife in this game. Partly because YouTube doesn't like this game, and that knife specifically. Partly because of all the gore. Now, I don't mind it. Now, this channel doesn't mind it yet, but when I get monetization, it just means I won't get monetization for videos like this one. But I digress. Also, talking about monetization in any way also impacts it. Duke. So, essentially, sorry if you hear the dog, he gets antsy at nights lately. But yeah, yeah, the worst thing you can ever do as a in this hobby is sit down about to render out 6 hours worth of gameplay to upload it to your channel and to find out it's only halfway done. Due to seemingly no fault of your own. The only fault I did not do was verify that it was recording the audio and saving it to an extra file. But anyway, yeah, I like to keep them separate. Makes it cleaner, easier to snap in, snap out, and edit. You know, for all intents and purposes, you don't need to edit the sound of the video. You just need to occasionally edit the commentary if it picked up noises like it does in this house. But, yeah. Thought I was done. I'm not. But in any rate, think I'm still doing this quest. Oh yes, the lost and found thing. I finished most of them, not including the ones in DLC areas. Ooh. Yeah, that's, you know, oddly enough, the main reason why I decided to put that in my inventory and modify it is because I watched a top 10 best weapon types in the game. Pole axes, pole saws, and any spear all have the same moveset, and they all count as, like, number 3. Number 1 is this, knife, by the way, the twisty knife. Like, almost 70% of all of the unique items in this game are actually done through lost and found quests. The rest are just given to you after you do certain things like, oh, I don't know, beating the game. Now, after playing with this knife for about 6 hours, I can definitely say, yeah, it's fun to play with. But it's one of those weird things. The knife attack thing, it screams single target damage. But in this game, you're not doing single target damage 80% of the time. 80% of the time it's just chaff like this. So knives are probably one of the worst base types in the entire game. But the bleed effect actually makes knives worth a damn. And the fact that this spreads the bleed all around
Go away already!
Something's attracting all these
definitely
mourners.
adds to the viability of this particular knife. But that's something you can craft on any knife. Do I like the knife? Sorta. It's good, especially with this particular character
Michaels,
build.
This is what you do.
Pretty much stacking, leeching, and
Oh, fuck, don't!
frenzy bullshit, healing bullshit, and frenzy weapon
don't worry.
mods.
You're safe now.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
alright?
overpowered by itself.
I'm doing great.
Any
Just
fist weapon,
great.
yeah,
But are
that's
you
overpowered
okay?
to shit.
You can be honest with me.
DPS
I'm Bert
wise,
Michaels,
but
the chief lifeguard of this strip. It's kind of my responsibility to keep people
reduced
like you safe.
force.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the combat
Though
system
even I
in
gotta
this
admit,
game
I'm
is pretty interesting
underperforming
when you
right
get
now.
down to it.
Sure, it was brave of me to lead the zombies
Some
away,
characters
but
get
it
certain
meant
bonuses.
I lost the group of stragglers I was escorting across the beach out there.
There's more people out here? Are they okay?
Yeah, they gotta be, right? Well, I guess with how
Oh, yeah.
wild the beach is now, and without an expert like me with them, no, I bought them enough time,
Alright.
no doubt.
No room for doubt out here, man. I'll go find them.
You will? Wow, that's great. That means we can split the search. I can stay here in case they come back, of course, and you can follow their trail. Try to find someone out there. I'm sure some of them ran towards the police
You
station's
know,
parking
in my
lot.
original recording about here, I said, well, normally the prospect of these side quests, I'm probably going to show up to kill what they've become. So try not to keep your hopes up. But, yeah. Essentially, all the downsides of the knife
Is this the
is
right channel?
solved by
This is Bert Michaels.
that
If you
one
find anyone,
modifier,
you can radio me on this channel to let me know.
but
Yeah, I know how a radio works.
the problem
the
I
police
have
station.
with it is it doesn't have stay power, for lack of a better word. Essentially, it doesn't put shit down fast. You know, a horde, this thing is supposed to theoretically be better against a horde, but pretty much just removes all the chaff that's not resistant to bleed. But I'm going to try to get a little bit more interesting in the visuals here. You know, everything having the same mod I've been sticking with this entire time, which is
Come on, guys. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay
the
here.
cripple mod. You know, the mod that makes it it makes more damage on the same target, do a fuckload more damage. Well, it actually gives them a debuff that makes them take more damage.
I'm at the station, Bert. No signs of life.
No one's there? Oh, but I mean, that's a good thing, yeah? Must mean they made it to the stores like they planned after all. Oh, that's good.
The stores? I'll go check them out.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I've also started and finished
Hey, there's a load of zombies trying to
We're
get
All
into the Menace
Dead,
kitchen.
that
Could be people
one
inside.
You found someone? Yes!
South Korean
I do remember them
zombie
talking about that
epoch
place.
series.
I'm 100% certain. You gotta clear the area and get them out.
It was alright. It definitely kind of fell into tropish territory, in my opinion. Hold on, I need to go see what the dog's bitching about. Alright, he just went outside. But, yeah. It definitely fell into tropish territory.
Zombies are gone. Gonna get the shutter open.
That's amazing! Don't
That
forget to tell him
and
Bert Michaels sent you.
it also doesn't help I've been listening to a lot of zombie audiobooks, mostly because Audible keeps suggesting them to me. Since I love zombie Fallout. Which, by the way, I heavily recommend. And if you would feel, the script, the story, to me it wasn't unique. Kind of felt done already.
People have been dead for days. Bert, there's nobody here.
Definitely
just a bunch of old
had
corpses.
that
no one
feeling,
alive? No.
Trying
I
to
hoped
glimpse
somebody had to
something
have survived.
unique.
It's only been a few days. Oh.
Stay there. I'm heading back.
I can't believe I didn't find this guy
Hey!
sooner.
Hey, you're, coming back, right?
Yeah, and you better still be there.
What? You think I would run? Now? oh, Christ on a biscuit! Okay, well, I can't right now, so please hurry!
By the way, I do like that curveball there. It essentially lures all of the ads into a place and to shove a grenade up their ass. So, yeah, trying. But, yeah. Pretty much, yeah, everything it did kind of felt tropish. Like, it's definitely a common thing. Immune people, there being actually a 99% lethality instead of 100% lethality for one when it comes to a bite. That's actually just common tropes. For fuck's sakes, this game uses that trope. Another trope I've seen is sort of a 50-50 thing, which they went with, is immune people aren't truly immune.
I'm sorry.
They're carriers.
What was that all about? You sent me looking for dead people.
I know! I fucked up!
Come on. Tell me what happened. You need to get it out.
That group depended on me. I was their hero. When the freaks attacked, I just froze. Hid here. But someone had to have got out alive. Just one person. They just had to. Right? Right?
We all fuck up, dude. You're the only one who survived here. And you're gonna have to live with that. Get to the blue crab, okay? It's safe there.
But, yeah, like I was saying, that bit kind of felt done already. But It's a common trope. More common than you would think, actually. Alright, so essentially what I was getting at was yeah, everything that seems and you would think would feel unique in that show. It's not. I have seen all the tropes they pulled. Yeah, like zombieism also being transferred upon biological matter. Not 100% contractable in scratches, but you still can. Biological matter. You know, even blood from a zombie could make you turn. Character using that as a way to manipulate other characters. To then have a redemption arc, which is stolen from her. From a character who retained. Alright. Sorry about that. I think he's calmed down now. He wants me to go to bed. Then the sooner I'll cut out more chaff if I notice it. But at any rate, yeah, a character that turns into a zombie but maintains their mental faculties. Done. Question is, what do they do that hasn't been done? Really good fight choreography. Good sound design as well. And I will say, the feel factor is there. You know, the characters feel more real, not just little tools or assets used to do something. In my opinion, every puppet's a good puppet. It's just how it's how you use the puppet. Oh, hold on. Alright. Yeah. I had to make a little cut there. Now, but the other interesting thing in the show is the creativity of the kids. It's a zombie epoch that originated in a school. It's not a traditional contagion. It is the distilled physicality of the will to live. In its raw form. I don't like bleeding zombies, the spiky ones. Yeah, they're alright. It's just that, having a universal counter up and ready, so you don't need to worry about weapon damage types against certain enemy types. That's actually a pretty good way of playing the game. But it doesn't look neat. So, then you have to deal with all the other element management bullshit. But, yeah, it was an alright show. At times it did feel like it went on a little too long. I'm also interested in seeing Season 2. Mostly to see if they can keep the momentum going.
Calm and orderly my ass.
It's... Most zombie shows, it's really hard to keep the momentum going without ending the series, really. You know, what's after the zombies? What happens to them? Do
I'm
they,
on his trail.
you know,
Santa Monica's a place.
things like that. Really, the realistic option, if you're going with the traditional rotting corpse, is eventually walkers will wear down their feet to the point where they can't walk upright, so then they drag themselves everywhere. And then the draggers turn into just an arm and chest cavity dragging itself on the ground. But, you know, in this game, that it's not those types. We're dealing with the autophage, but in actuality it's a doomsday scenario thing. Essentially, it's a precursor in old genetic life that switches on. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I love you. Hold on. Alright. Hopefully this time it's the last time. But, yeah, like I was saying, there really wasn't anything too unique in that show. But, yeah, autophage is obviously narratively more intriguing. That and the Left 4 Dead virus. That's more intriguing as well. But there are definitely sown seeds that could bloom into horrid nightmares later. But yeah, again, narratively, it's really hard to balance a zombie story because once the zombies are gone, then it's just a fuckload of human factions you have to contend with. But if you don't want to deal with human factions, then you need to make zombies a bigger threat, or put something the characters would need in the paths of zombies.
As long as you're not a zombie in disguise.
Then I'm friendly too. Name's Ezekiel. People call me Zeke.
But
Seeing as we're all stuck out here,
narratively,
want to trade?
it's easy to start a zombie book.
Open day or night.
Okay,
It's hard
Constant.
I'm running a
to end
24/7 store
a zombie
right now.
book. Now, this whole autophage thing, yeah, the character said it. House says it later, but there is no cure. Everyone is fucked. For Christ's sakes, the ground is being torn open and rent from the inside. There's also a missing fuckload of biomass somewhere, and it's all in the sewers. You know, statistically, 80% of it's missing.
Okay, looks good. Just gotta get inside. Nothing to it. Okay, which bus were you riding?
But yeah, but the other thing is, it all really depends, you know. And I have actually seen a narrative death spiral occur in a series. Oh, I forget the name of this one, but it was, it has a dog in it named, Shrek, the ghost that lurks in the night. Strikes fear from the shadows. Let me see here.
That you, Davis? But that was one girl with a bite you couldn't rely on.
Ah, yes, the Extinction Survival series. There's also a similar one I'll bring up called Hunger. It's okay, baby. Alright. But, yeah, like I was saying, they're good books. They do have what I call the Infinite Cascade Death Spiral. One more so than the other. So, Extinction Survival, I think, is the correct one with the dog in it. But essentially, a super soldier project fails spectacularly. But at any rate, those infected gain rapid evolution one way or another. This is sort of both books. It also affects the animals and the people. But the people are smart enough to ask the virus what it wants. But the virus, in both cases, prioritizes brawn over brain. But those Extinction box set, essentially it follows the oh fucked scenario with its infected. Essentially, the infected can mutate at a rapid rate, and they're not true zombies. They can breed. But the interesting but the catch
Got plenty in
is
stock to
later
get
on
rid
they
of.
get
Happy
the
to take things
brains
off
to
you, too.
use tools again. But it literally takes like 3 chapters before the finale. But in any respect, oh, yeah, I just remembered my least favorite part of that entire box set. There is literally a plot hole. And the characters do their absolute best to cover it up and wipe it from memory. But, yeah, it falls into the, oh, wait a minute. Let's throw a curveball in favor of good guys. Alright, we give them Molotov cocktails. We give the other guys that survived the Molotov cocktails fire resistance. Oh. Yeah, so it sort of becomes, oh, I know, let's give this party this now. See what happens. Now that party gets this, okay. Wait, what was this book about again? You know, it kind of has a midlife crisis midway through, like the first Dead Island game. But yeah, it's a good book, don't get me wrong. The characters are good. It's just that at times it kinda felt like they already told you what happened before it happens. It's so obvious. But it's, you also need to get cut some slack. It's like the second book that writer ever written. You know, it's a good book. You know, the idea behind it is alright. But, you know, if you give one of the parties too well of an adaptability, oh, we have our people and guys make forts with really big walls with spikes all over them because the stupid infected get stuck on them. Oh god. One of them appears to be climbing up the wall like a gecko. Well, we're fucked. You know, but it kind of also adds to the narrative that no fort is permanently safe. But that's the catch. That plot hole I mentioned earlier, it kind of feels like a seed to continue on the franchise. But, you know, it was good when it lasted. I'm too invested at this point to not watch the listen to the sequel if it does come out. But usually whenever the box sets come out, it's either because they're moving on to bigger and better things, or they might reboot it, or they just feel like that they got enough from individual book sales to just start box setting it on Audible. Oh, I'm actually surprised Zombie Fallout hasn't gone that way yet. But, yeah, I think I brought this book up before on the channel somewhere.
All gone.
Called,
Nothing here for me or Pablo.
Hunger, I think. I listened to it about almost a year and a half ago. If not two. It was also a good book. Had a similar problem, but how its epoch started was genetically modified superfood got out, making everything so irresistibly nutritious that you could literally live off of corn for the rest of your life. Problem is, the corn is now growing in your basement, it's also growing on your roof, and somehow, you still can't believe it, but somehow it managed to get in your car.
Found the protein shakes. Like milkshakes, but less fun.
And of course, with being so overly abundant, people and animals gorge on it. But there's a bug, you see. A little mishap here and there. Apparently, the more of this you eat, the more some of the recursive genetic modifications enter your blood and allow you the ability to gain adaptability similar to an octopus or a squid on the fly. They are the only animals to be able to edit their own genes, either subconsciously or consciously. We can't really tell. We just know some octopuses, even in the same species, are more tolerant to certain climates than others. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Okay, this is one of those little confusing puzzles mixed with a maze. Essentially, you need to do a lot of running. Back, front. Try to climb there. Looks like you should be able to climb. Obviously, you can't just hop the fence, barbed wire and all. But yeah, like I was saying, essentially the entire book is the main characters on a road trip through the United States in food galore that is poisonous to them if they eat it. And they're constantly looking for pre-disaster produce, canned or otherwise, to sustain themselves as they try to reverse this. Pretty good book. It only had 3 books, the third of which only came as part of the box set on Audible. But I didn't, I bought the box set. Something, you know, one of his very first stories, it sort of fell through the cracks. Not many people were interested in it. He didn't really know where to take the series because, well, he ran into the loop spiral. Essentially, every other chapter, you needed to invent a completely new monster to throw at the main characters. And make up new sheets of morphology and, you know, that type of stuff. And find an interesting way for the characters to deal with it. As they keep going to their #1 goal, to reverse the effects. Oh yeah, this I'm going to skip this because a lot of this is just me trying to figure out what the game wanted of me here. Well, thought I wanted a battery. Nope. So I go on the other side. Need a battery for that door. So I look around for industrial item, looking item, place that would have it. I find out that the entire time this door has been open. And the mini boss comes out. Figure out why I'm just running around. I already cut out 20 minutes. It was, that book was also pretty interesting. I recommend it. It's not something I would heavily recommend. It is $11 if you buy the Audible token. And if memory serves correct, it's like 3 sets of 24 hours. Or was the box set 24 hours total between the 3 books?
Okay, Constant. What you got
And
for me?
anyway, it lasted a week or so.
Okay, Constant, what's up?
I found this just for you.
But, yeah. When it comes to zombies, it's surprisingly easy to write yourself into, a hole. Probably, the best long-going zombie book series I have listened to. That isn't The Walking Dead. I tried sitting down watching that show. It was alright. It was the season where they start to distrust a utopia and start weaseling their way into destroying this utopia. Because it can't be a utopia. Because every other fucking utopia they have seen was a sham, a lie. And then they become the things that they didn't want to partake in. Oh, now I'm at the part where that didn't open this door. Didn't open that door. It looks like I need to cut more. Alright. So... yeah, this is probably one of the worst, go find me this, lost and found thing. Because it's literally just running in circles, pretty much. Do the thing in there. Find out the thing that you just did didn't unlock the door you needed, but unlocked another door to another thing that hopefully unlocks this door. Most unique of any zombie books I have listened to that isn't by Mark Tufo. Mountain Man. Zombie survival, the entire series, including the prequels.
Oh, you are just what I needed.
We follow a painter going through the zombie apocalypse. He gets real lucky, finds a really nice house up in the mountains. It has everything. Movies, popcorn, warehouse, cars, and an entire city to plunder. Characters come in and join in on him, but it's in the prequel books where it really gets good. You know, learning how he got there.
All right, Pablo, so polite.
And but probably the least believable, narratively speaking, in this book, it's not the zombies.
Where'd you go next?
It's literally a completely same level of stupid. Try coming into a rock and a hard place where you have to put on firefighting gear, which may have came from an antique fire engine that hopefully means it was fireproof, not fire retardant. But anyway, you're covering yourself in fucking gas. Hoping it's fireproof, not retardant. Set yourself on fire. Jump out of nearest window. When covered in zombie rats, mind you. After you blew up the entire fucking city. Because of said rat. Up, hold on. But, yeah, like I was saying, then falling off the mountain 3 stories, you know, went on fire.
Wait, tattoos use needles. Probably not the same as insulin needles, but would Pablo know that?
It's one of those books that eventually it's not the zombies that are the problem. Oh, not even the zombie rodents. It's people. Again, it is filled with a fuckload of tropes. Throw in some soap opera in there. It's down pat. But I recommend listening to the prequels before you read the original the rest of it. Oh, did I also mention he ran around for the entire night? Didn't run into any zombies, and was found by a guy who thought he was crispy roadkill, who turned out to be a burn specialist. That kind of shit sort of removes some of the believability. But then it pretty much goes off the rails from there. Yeah, that is... but it kind of slowly gains in that department. Some of the later chapters really make me think, wait a minute, is he just starving to death somewhere in a coma, just thinking this up? Or at least this part of the book? It's alright. It gets a little tropish and easy to predict. You definitely know where the book's headed towards before it gets there. But I highly recommend it. Pretty good book.
Oh, right. You knew Rose had spare needles.
So... yeah, so far, I thought these side quests were pretty fun. Especially the ones with voice acting. These little go runarounds here's and there's are okay on a puzzle spectrum.
It's because of her diabetes. Good job, Pablo.
But some of these were definitely meant for you to stumble upon earlier in the game. Because at this point, I don't need superior weapons. Unless it's a really hard base type to find, like Knuckles, apparently. Yeah, for some fucking reason, Brass Knuckles, the one thing you could find in Riptide is barely ever seen. But yeah, so far this is one of the only games I've played it lately that actually makes me feel like playing it again later. Well, I started a second character on my vacation. Then I remembered how bad early game is. You know, for some reason, in every action RPG, you always forget how bad early game is. Comparing early game to mid game is like pulling your teeth and fingernails. By comparison. Hold on. But yeah, this whole mic thing, it used to happen a lot during the previous ones. So far, every series I have done has to have one of these audio malfunctions. Don't think I had any during Dead Island 1 or Riptide, but I kind of count the entire video games franchise as the series, because I'm going to do an extensive review on all of them once I beat this game and its DLC. Oh, speaking of which, I missed out on some Riptide DLC. I think it was Riptide? No, Dead Island DLC. Apparently there's this other secret DLC mode in the bracket. Essentially he plays the main villain and learns his story. And that he orchestrated the entire scenario, the first game. He pretty much caused the first game to happen. As to his plan. But he fucked up last minute. We all know why. For the theme of this entire franchise so far, if there's a third game, I will try everything in my power to make sure I at least get 10 bullets in the next guy who says Kier. Partly because the whole entire thing about this series, there is no Kier. The Kier is a lie. And if you even try, you're fucked. Because there is no Kier. You cannot cure this, you can only make it stronger. By the way, I never noticed this little rainbow walkway before. I've been meaning to bring this up. For some reason, older games, they really got the dirt and grit down, but newer games kind of have a cleaner, more crisp feel. You know what I mean? Something with the lower graphics making it more dirty, appear more dirty than higher graphics. I could sit down and count pebbles in this road and the cracks, but it looks clean. Oh, I'm also doing all the fuses since I'm here. I think I prefer sword over that knife. But, yeah. But in any rate, yeah, I played a little bit of Fallout 3 the other day. That's something I noticed. For some reason, even the dirtiest places in this game feel crisp and clean by comparison. When in Fallout 4, I mean at 3, it's... even when the game's trying to be clean, it's dirty. You know, even in the vault, where you start. But I definitely think this game's worth flattening. That's one of the main reasons why I've been doing all the side quests. I also found out in Dead Island, Riptide, and 1, I missed some side quests in villages. I forget which one exactly, but one of them has this jungle area, but there's apparently like 5 villages scattered throughout the jungle. But you only need to visit one of these villages and do its quests before you move on to the story. And then you get completely locked out of ever going back.
I'll find another way in.
But, yeah. This game's pretty good. I think it might have something to do with the shininess of the blood, perhaps. If you know what I mean? You know, shiny things seem more clean.
It's your lucky day, Carla.
You know, I still question why this stoner hippie did this. You know, he burrowed a hole into his back wall, put shotguns and tripwires all around. Yeah, I disarmed that one, but there was a second one. The first one was a trick shotgun. He meant for you to disarm it.
Aw, mierda. I was rooting for you, Pablo, dude. Another life, huh?
Hey, don't you move, man. Whoa, whoa. Easy, dude. Hey, I'm a peaceful man, but I will drop you. No looter's gonna take from the dock, man.
Wait. Not here to rob you. Look, money. See? See, I want to buy things.
What? Nah, man. Sneaking past all my traps? You're a looter, man.
No. I just need some stuff from my neighbors. The Dillingers say they always come here. Please.
You know Charlie?
Yes. They live on my block. He comes here for his shakes, right?
Shakes? Yeah, that's Charlie, man. Why didn't you say something? A customer. Come on over. I'll hook Charlie up. Watch your step, man.
What? Whoa. Oh, wow, you sure are dug in. Guess you can't be too careful, huh? Zombies, looters.
Sure, man. Like all us store owners look out for each other. But you gotta look out for number one first, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of people depending on me, too. Oh, hey, you have my neighbor needs one of these. It for sale?
For sure, man. It's a store. You got money, you can have it. This is nice, man. I miss chewing the fat with customers. Whoa! Oh, I'm really sorry, man. Forgot that trap was there. Sure knocks the wind out of you, huh? Can't be too careful, man. Zombies, looters. Whoa, deja vu. You ever get that, man? Hey, you okay there? No way, man. I was only supposed to knock him down. What do I do? What do I do, man? Oh.
Doc, you okay? We heard gunfire.
Just a minute! You can't come in! The door's locked! Go around! Doc's not here, man!
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm not even too sure that one was worth it to go back and do this like. You know, it's just sometimes I don't stop to do the side quests before I do the story. Half the time because a lot of the story missions kind of feel like, oh, it kind of doesn't feel like I should not do this right now. You know what I mean? You know, it doesn't feel like, oh, I can go do the side quest before I can go do that thing that seems very important right now. You know, like, oh, go find my daughter. Alright. Alright. And you're sure she was alive 2 hours ago? Yeah? Alright, that's so far better than what I have done in a while. You know what? After this, I'm probably going to go to bed and finish this tomorrow. I went back here. She apparently reset all the booby traps.
Oh, you are just what I needed.
But, yeah.
I did. Got totally fucked over by the guy I was trusting, though.
Ugh, sounds like the brass. But that doesn't mean you can stay here.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually a piece of unique dialogue. Pretty interesting that it's even in the game. In the first game, and in Riptide, if you go back to a previous area, after they said something, nothing changed. There's apparently, this girl that shows up on the beach in the first game, well, the house, or wherever the first group of survivors you get attached to. Those ones, they find an injured girl, try to fix her up, but when you try to go there to go see if you can help. She's nowhere to be found. None of the characters acknowledge it, partly because due to some limitations and time constraints, they didn't have enough time to implement it, and they also didn't have enough time to completely remove it out of the script, and they already recorded the voice lines. Might as well keep them. Oh, I'll continue this later. I'll see you. Alright, new day. So, if memory serves correct, oh yeah, we're going to essentially get caught up on all the doable side quests before we do anything too crazy. Because,
back to Bel Air.
it's odd,
Missing lifeguard,
you know?
huh?
Some
do
of
a trip
these
to
feel
the
like
beach.
you should do them before you beat the game.
Good luck out there. You're gonna
Some
need
of them feel like you don't need. I mean, you should have done it at the very beginning of the game. Or a lot sooner than when you got them. But some side quests are actually tied into each other in this game. Oh yeah, I still haven't got around to solving one of the greatest problems I have this episode, which is trying to understand House. The House DLC. Because it's kind of confusing and not. But I'll get into that more into the DLC part of this episode, which is I have like 3 more hours unless I cut out more stuff. If you're watching this. And yeah, sorry if you hear the boy. He got a piggly ear. But yeah, this knife, it's alright. I wouldn't say it's game-breaking good. But that's sort of everything in this game. It doesn't outperform any of my usual kit. Oh, matter of fact, visual-wise, I think I prefer the ripping and maiming and the tearing over them just falling over due to blood loss. But again, I decided to play with that knife there, just for video sakes. That, and you would not believe how many top 10s have it as listed as #1 must get. But yeah, it's pretty good. Don't get me wrong, you know, the gimmick to the weapon is pretty awesome. It's hard to explain. Let me get there. ago. But, essentially, in every game I have ever played that's an RPG, the unique class of weapons are unique, as in there is one weapon with this trait, and it's this one. No Path of Exile, Diablo clone. All the unique stuff always has an interesting upside or downside that you can build around. This game, combat-wise, everything is a whole lot more plastic, you know, malleable. Very versatile, flexible.
Shane's hut. Smells like Clue territory.
For example, Carla can be played as a dodge tank or a pound town brawler, which is how I play. But pretty much how you play the game determines on how you do the character. I mean, how the character turns out. So, how you equip them. But anyway, like I was saying, there really isn't anything unique about this item besides its wicked design.
World's worst offer. At least I know where next.
Also, I don't think this knife should have the Sever tag. It's one of those things. Obviously, since it's a bladed weapon, it should be able to cut things. But the whole design choice of the weapon is not to dismember, if you know what I mean. It's made to rip and maim. And then make it hard to fix. Essentially, if you get cut or stabbed with a blade like this, it's almost impossible to perform life-saving surgery on. You're not going to cut any arms or legs off with it. Unless you really go at it. You know, it's not like a sword. But that's me nitpicking video games and video game logic. And obviously, the easy argument of, oh, you know, they're rotten. They fall off, the meat's falling off, off the bone, you know. It just hits one of the ones that was very tender. Argument, which, yes, I would agree with you, if it wasn't due to the fact that these particular undead don't appear to need to breathe, but they still need blood. Hence, one of the gimmicks of this item, the bleeding it causes goes all over the place.
Big guy alert. You're now, huh? Should've listened to him, girl. So what went down at Lifeguard HQ?
Oh yeah, I remember this one now. This is the lost and found, where you need to figure out what happened to all the life documents. But, yeah, I kind of, you know, after playing with this knife for a good while, I don't feel like it lived up to the hype everyone puts, you know, the pedestal everyone puts it on. Well, if you ask me, running around, all of the unique weapons in this game are just really good leveling items. And it's a shame half of them are only available after you beat the game. You know, I already had enough resources to make something equal to this episodes ago. I haven't done it because I prefer the universal versatility of weapon swapping. Not needing to swap out all of my weapons willy-nilly, depending on how the battlefield changes. Because to be honest, kind of want to kill the enemies first, strategize second, in an action RPG. But if you're managing what weapons can and can't hurt your enemy, it kind of takes away from the immediacy of battle, in my opinion. I do like the game slow down, and the scroll wheel and the speediness of it. You know, it even works in multiplayer. It's just the problem, my mouse is broken. And someone unplugged my microphone long enough on my computer to forget what it was. Yeah, that's one of the things I hate, in computers in general. For some reason, some programs, even when it comes to wired things, like, this microphone, just sometimes randomly out of the blue, a driver updates and it changes the name of the item and all the access rules to it. But this also trickles down into all the programs as well. It happens now and again. Oh, I think I can count them on my hands at this point of how many times this happened. Especially during the Dragon's Dogma era of the channel. But I'm going to be real honest. Part of it was I got complacent because it worked for 8 months straight without any hitches, so... And that's pretty much like 3 games now. Yeah, I feel like this game's actually worth the time to sit through and platinum it. which I can rarely say about any game these days. You know, some games you just play for a bit, get the feel of them, put them back on the shelf. And then there's games like this one where, alright, I definitely see why people like this. Oh, I already have a bucket list of what I should play next. I really want to do Kingdom Hearts franchise eventually, but I've tried that one before. No one wants to watch Kingdom Hearts. Everyone wants to play Kingdom Hearts or watch tips and tricks videos and guides on Kingdom Hearts. Unless that person's playing it live. But that's the same thing with a lot of video games these days. Especially MMOs. If it's not a guide that's not future-proof, people won't be watching it. But, yeah, I hope you guys like this series so far. But yeah, I had a cut there. Don't know what happened to the audio in this bit. Oh, never mind. That was my headset being staticky. But essentially, I need to look at around this place for evidence of why. But yeah, I really like how this game has free lucidity on what weapons you should and should not use with a certain character. Because let me tell you, that was the one thing I hated about the first two games. Being locked into a single play style. When they added game elements that aid or detract from certain characters. For example, the bloaters, or the bloated, those ones have innate resistances to blunt weapons, high weakness to electricity, and regular to moderate damage from swords. Also, due to their fat, if you use a blunt weapon, the harder the hit. But no, it's more likely to bounce off when he blocks. And I think that's true in this game too, but it's not game ending. You know, it's not going to kill you like in the first two games. But I've been looking into the history of this franchise too. The main reason why Riptide allows you to transfer characters between the first game to it is partly because of the fact that it was not originally meant to be a standalone title. It was actually originally supposed to be a DLC, but it got too big for the original engine. And then they just ended up having to make a half sequel. Anyway, because they had to modify the game engine to allow them to use boats for that one
Lucky
section of the game. And I actually really appreciate, you know, trying to expand the brand a bit. Don't get me wrong, the original game, well, at least the HD remaster, was gorgeous in the set design. But in some of the other areas, they sort of dropped the ball, if you know what I mean. And in other areas, they kind of felt flaccid. Or they didn't really care at a certain point, which, considering the rush, oh, hold on. Alright, I had to make a cut there. Realized I was talking over 15 minutes of inventory management clean out. And, yeah. If you ask me, this game is leaps and bounds better than the first 3 titles. It's definitely a modern version of the first 2 titles. Well, my only complaint, story-wise, is they kind of did the same thing again. That may not seem like a problem, but when you consider the first 2 games had the same exact plot. Oh, character here's if they sign up as lab rat, they could escape and find a cure for this. Learns there is no cure, so they try to bug out anyway. To then find out that the new island they're on was already contaminated. Well, the boat got contaminated. If you ask me, the way I interpreted it in the first game, my first playthrough was that native that tagged along with us who had a resistance was not immune, but a carrier. And she ended up biting someone. And then you wake up to a zombie fucking apocalypse on a boat. So...
Anybody, please! We need help! Oh God, Bert! Hey, someone to save us! We're going to be okay!
Now, I really love that curveball there, because, you know, it combines two of the best curveballs into one, and granted, the frag grenade is really good.
Thank you so much. I thought we were dead for sure.
Also, this is that lifeguard from earlier.
Hey, Bert!
Oh, it's you. Cool, that's cool. The real hero has arrived. Oh,
You don't look so good.
no. Just took a few knocks. I'll be fine in the morning. For now, though, you gotta get Rita to the lifeguard HQ. She'll be safe there.
We'll
Yep.
all go.
No, thanks. I'm good. I'm kind of busy getting back something I lost out here. You wouldn't get it.
I wouldn't, huh? Try me.
Right, fine. Just don't laugh. It's my torp. It's this rescue buoy I lost. Got caught on some zombie's leg and it's ended up behind the public toilets, along with my mojo.
That's it? We all need a lucky charm, man. You both head to Lifeguard HQ. I'll go get your torp.
This is so not cool. But fine. Whatever ends this embarrassment faster.
Oh, yes. I don't think he's doing too good. I've seen this before in this series, at least. Those bruisers, well, the brawlers, you know, the strong ones, that pretty much have roids. They're really strong, and a punch or a stomp from them to the abdomen can rupture
pretty
your
great.
spleen. In theory. Granted, I never came across a roids individual and got punched in the stomach or stomped, but I know enough that a really massive blow to your stomach could rupture your spleen or organs in general. And if it, I mean, in the first game we came across one that the main character had to give morphine overdose to because of the internal bleeding. Also, I just realized this. I think this is the first time I found one of those bee infected on the beach area. But yeah, pretty solid game. I kind of want to try Neighborhood Watch at some point. Off screen, probably. Because it does seem interesting. You know, for a while I've actually been looking for a game like League of Legends, but not be paid to win out the ass. And has that been going on for such of a long time that you practically need to buy a book to understand the lore and story? Dota. And, or having so many fucking characters in order to figure out which one's the correct one for you. Is trial error,
Totally not
error, grinding until you get a new one. Or buying them. Takes me a bit to realize those boxes are breakable. I did record this right after vacation. Some, I forget, certain items are meant to be broken. But, and the last few quests I've done, didn't have them in the way. By the way, whoever put that there, they're an asshole. Oh, I think I paused the game for a bit. Alright. I had to make a little cut there. It's one of those bits I was reading in card to you. The viewers, but
All done. Back to Lifeguard HQ.
Oh yeah, Lifeguard HQ. Theory mode in this game is actually good and usable compared to the first titles. You know, in the first two titles, Fury mode was only good whenever they forced you into using it. Don't get me wrong, you could still use it to kill certain bosses, but that's pretty much what I ended up using it for. But, yeah.
It's you. It's you.
Where's Bert? I got his float.
You haven't seen him? Oh no. Oh no, no.
Hey, it's all right. What happened?
We were on our way when some zombies swarmed us. Bert told me to start running, but when I looked back, he was screaming and shouting, leading them away from me, back to the shoreline.
Puta madre. He's trying to be a hero. Stay here.
Alright, so... yeah, if you ask me, this side quest chain here, it's pretty okay. But one of the complaints I have with not just this franchise, but a lot of dark
I'm right behind you.
fantasy RPG stuff here lately
content and
is...
No way. You stay right here.
oh, phooey.
Oh yeah, about then I pretty much said, in what I thought was recorded, I told her, you're lucky I haven't duct taped your ass to a wall or a chair somewhere. Because, for the love of God, if you do that again, pull that bullshit again, I will. I would have actually put a bullet in her if the game did not prevent you from shooting
deja
her.
vu. Hang in there, Bert. I'm here.
Well, I just noticed they redid the design on the Reapers. Or whatever they're called, Ravengers. They're the ones with the knife arms. The first two games, they were actually broken off nubs. You know, originally they had arms, but due to their fighting style, they broke off at some point and sharpened.
Bert, it's all clear, man. Bert!
Of course it's you. Saving me again. Look. Still no bites. But they sure pack a punch, don't they?
Hey, hey, it's okay. I got your lucky charm. So much mojo.
Hey! Look at that! My torp! But I don't think it's gonna help me now. Oh God!
I shouldn't have left you.
No. We're cool. You're what I'm supposed to be. I just wish I could be. Like I used to be. Rita, did it work? Did she get out?
She's safe. You saved her. You didn't need your float.
Yeah. It worked this time. You're right. Yeah. I'm still a hero. That's really cool. Sorry. I think I need to close my eyes now.
Well...
Goodbye, Bert.
Yep. Bert died. But this time, he succeeded. Well, anyway, next quest. Oh yeah, this is where I start the ending of House. Man, let me tell you. I still mean to watch a video explaining the finale of that DLC. But I'll do that right before we finish. You know, like right before we start. But the confusing thing to me as a newer player why is the house free DLC, or whatever it is? Why can he access it in the beginning of the game when there's quite literally one
Hey, Constant.
level check boss, but 3?
Hey, you. Come over here. You need to hear this. You're one of those crazy types who actually enjoys going out there, aren't you? Good. I think I know where we can find a boat.
I do get it in a way. I think you're actually supposed to
I was
just
snooping
get
around
the
here
first
when I
head
came
and
across
then go back to the
paperwork
base game.
of CDC security requesting a boat from the lifeguards. During the outbreak, no less. Seems suspicious. Why did they need their own boat unless they were up to something?
They probably escaped in it. So
Oh yeah,
what?
the side quest.
Because I can find no indication that the boat ever left. I feel it in my bones. That boat is still on this beach. And if you follow the paper trail, you can find it.
Your bones? Come on. What do they know
I just
about boats?
remembered something I
You
meant to
kids
bring up
give a fuck
in the
too
original
easily.
commentary.
If there's no boat, there's no boat. But if it's still on this beach,
The
we
boat
can
we
get out
end
of
up
Calais.
looking for
Sure,
is
I'll
the
take a
boat
look.
they were
Weirder
standing
shit's
next
happened.
to when you went to go save them.
My bag's a little heavy.
Alright. So,
Oh, fuck!
oh yeah, I forgot to mention the Screamer is extremely weak to brittle. She's very brittle boned. And she actually does have a weakness to blood. But yeah, this brings up the point I had with this knife a bit earlier. In a fight like this, I don't want everything to slowly bleed to death. I want it dead. That and the bleeds aren't as purulent as advertised. You know, bleed, if you put bleed on an enemy and kill it, it moves to a nearby enemy.
Let's see what I can find.
Yeah, another one of those swarm zombies.
So Cooper had a friend in the CDC.
But definitely one of the very first things
Cooper
I'm
wanted
doing
to get something past
in the beginning of
quarantine.
next episode is mothballing this knife.
For real? I get it. He traded shifts. Sneaky pals, Cooper and Dr. Huang. It all went down in the main dome.
Now, I get the whole idea of the riot gear thing. Oh, I think it's even a holdover from the first game. But, they're a little annoying to deal with, especially with my type of build setup. But, oddly, status effects should be able to kill them, you would think, but especially Bleed. Bleed can't actually kill an enemy in this game by itself. It does put them at 1 HP though, so if you sneeze on it, it will die. But all the elemental damages hit those guys. Well, kills them. Armor be damned. But yeah, I'm going to start moving towards elemental diversification. My weapon layout.
You've been crawling around here long enough. Got what you deserved.
Now, thing is, I don't mind the Ravengers. It's just the named ones that are a pain in the ass. But I guess that's with all of the zombie variants. It's the named ones that you need to worry about more. But, yeah. So, yeah, this quest kinda is probably, in my opinion, one of the least worth doing. You know, it's fun, don't get me wrong. I heavily recommend platinum this game, but gameplay-wise, you know, what do you get at this point in the game the items you get. Oh, originally I thought you would do quests for money and experience, but somehow I get more money and experience killing things.
Oof.
Normally. You know, it's one of those weird things, but I'm one of those people that doesn't like to outright grind in an RPG because it defaces sort of the play cycle. You know, part of traditional RPGs is limiting your abilities and resources, you know, to make them scarce, to make you make harder and harder decisions. But if you grind your way to level 152 in Fallout 4, because of all the things you chose to be the Minutemen ending,
maybe it's still
to
here.
try and get the hardest one out of the way first. To then learn there really isn't an ending. Faction-wise, it's one of those games that just keeps going on even when you beat the game. Kind of like this one. But yeah, at any rate, like I was saying, eventually, no matter the system you're playing, all those extra levels, HP, and whatever stats you want to call them, defaces the challenge to the final boss. You know, it's one thing if you build your character to kill the boss. It's a complete other thing to 100% everything. Go in with an unoptimized build and literally cut off Sephiroth's ass and feed it to him. You know? And yeah, that's another series on my list. One of the main drawbacks to me playing Kingdom Hearts on the channel is Disney doesn't want their music free. And if you're playing the game, you have to have
just junk.
Complete commentary over the music. Or not have the music in the video to begin with. But I don't want my first playthrough of Kingdom Hearts without all the mystic whimsy. So then it turns into, well, then I would have to record, set up my recording to pick up the game sound. And, but that also includes voice lines and all the other important stuff. So, you know, at that point, I might as well not bother with it. For the channel, at least. Unless I start streaming sometime in the future. Which I might. But not now. Pretty content with my setup as it is now. I have done a few live streams, but they weren't too big. Hell, I don't even think any of them have any views. Hell, that, and I think I had to end up re-releasing HD remakes of those videos. By the way, I think those guys are my new least favorite enemy design. You know, I get the whole idea of having them, but the big, hard to dodge, heavily punishing slams like those, that combo they do. That, and for some reason my healing packs don't heal full when fighting one of these things. And there we go. You know, I like the design of them, you know. It's supposed to catch you off guard, hand your ass to you. But fighting them in absolute melee is atrocious. Go too far from them, they'll start throwing bones at you. So you might as well just middle range with a shotgun. But at this current point, I learned something. That whenever you die, the game doesn't give you back the ammo you had before you die. So, to prevent...
Oh, Cooper! He really went south, huh?
And dead. I also think they can regenerate passively as well. So that's where not having enough DPS hurts you. So that's one of the things I kind of dislike about RPGs. That particular enemy archetype. The hard to deal with tanky fucker that punishes you for not killing it by removing your progress in killing it. And also making it hard for you to have an opening to kill. You know, the tanky, hyper-aggressive enemies, I always find those really hard to deal with in RPGs. Partly because, in my opinion, you just need to plan out the correct setup to kill them, but if you don't have the resources to do it, because the game also has things that takes away those resources. Now, I think one of those is the mutator. Nope. And apparently these mutators are actually supposed to look like regular zombies and then turn when you get too close. But every mutator I've seen just either A, pops in, or B, does show up and they just instantly turn into a mutator. Now, the thing is, I like the whole design concept, you know, catch the player off guard. But it doesn't mean, I like fighting. And, especially in scenarios when I'm actually forced to actually try to kill one. Also, they're extremely allergic to fire, by the way.
Don't even try and stop me.
Yeah, for some reason, half the time whenever I ground pound, it removes the electric status.
So I found the boat. Total wreck.
Of course. Just the latest in a long line of disappointments.
Just gotta keep at it. Every shot is another chance at making it.
True. We will have to keep trying. We could all learn to be
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
this boat was here
you
when
hang in there,
that
Senorita.
lifeguard was here. I do get the idea that maybe there wasn't enough communication between Grandma and her daughter here. But and I get it that this needs to be self-contained in this tile set because that's generally have been the theme for all of the other go do it quests like this one. Yeah, that guy just despawned. I didn't even know those could show up in here until now. Well, when I was playing. But yeah, memories. Let me skip the inventory cleanup. Alright. I went ahead and cut out the bit where I got sidetracked with another Lost and Found quest. / side quest to find out it was the easel lady. But her quest line can't be done until after the game's beaten. Well, finished. That and I just got done cleaning out my inventory earlier this episode. But we're going to finish house. Oh, hold on. Forgot to do something. Alright, I figured out some more stuff about
Constantine
the story
trusted
here.
Iris with the crossbow. Their aim proved more capable than ours.
About my
doubt why
only,
Iris is
by the way, if you're here for this DLC content play footage, I already did half of it in episode 2. If it's not that one, it's the one that says "Thanks, I hate it" as the subtext. But yeah, that's the confusing thing about this DLC, in my opinion. You know, you get access to it literally out the gate of the tutorial, and since I never played this game for a while, I thought this was somehow the base game. You know, new players obviously going to think that. You know, wander around, accidentally pick up an item that brings them to this place, which kind of feels tutorial-esque. It does have some Metroidvania aspects to it. For example, the brain things can only be killed with crossbows. Yes. I think it's magic, by the way.
Long piglets? Hope they have a vegetarian option.
But my guess is those brains are resistant to pinpoint blunt impacts, which those are bullets. So anything with a blade on it can cut through into a spot.
Oh. Huh?
Like a bulletproof vest.
That zombie is a pig!
A knife can go through one of those like butter. That's why they wear stab-proof vests in this far right here.
Why are you dressed like that, dude?
Yeah, I got railed by this thing for 2 hours the last time I was here. When I looked up video guides of how I was supposed to beat this boss, all of them pretty much said, yeah, just use guns. What do you mean use the fucking guns? Oh, so you mean this is one of those things I should do right out the gate? Then why is it literally right outside the gate? Then I went to go play the base game for I think 10 episodes now? Something like that. I think this is episode 11. Gorgeous game, by the way. Heavily recommended. I will admit it does get grating after a while, you know. First 2 games. Now those are great. I think those ones outlived their stay around Green Hell. 1 and 2. Pig is immune to bleed. I learned that after trying to kill it with the top 1, number 1 best weapon. That's one of the main reasons why I decided to get it before I did this DLC. But, he's weak to fire. I'm surprised the Gimps aren't, Cossack X resistant. But, yeah, I also watched a few reviews. This DLC, being a story-based one, that only lasts 3 hours when you get down to it. It lasts a whole lot longer if you accidentally get sidetracked into it in episode 2 of your LP. But, yeah, aside from some of the cheap gimmicks in this DLC, I actually like it. It's very interesting set design. The entire place is. It's literally meant to fuck with you as the player. Hell, this entire DLC has a fever dream pitch to it. When you look back at it, especially if you play the whole thing in one go, like you're supposed to, and don't get railed by this almost impossible to beat boss exclusively with melee weapons that are green. Oh, and the crossbow. Can't forget the crossbow. I will say the crossbow's good, but I like Peggy. Peggy's actually fucking good in the base game. I might like crossbows a bit more if they, you know, dropped in the base game, which I guess they did start doing.
Get the head and get out.
But they're just one of those things. In a game where guns were primarily the main, guns and throwing things is your primary source of range damage. Bringing in a crossbow doesn't really seem like you're getting an upgrade. But that's coming from a noob who accidentally started this DLC in episode 2 of his LP. I'm no veteran to this series. Matter of fact, I only started playing this series, I think last year-ish, if not a few months ago.
No head.
I'm not good at keeping track of time.
Ugh.
But, yeah, Dead Island is one of my longest running series at the moment. I kind of want to play a short
under the
game
cloche?
Next. That's not hack and slash RPG after I, well, finish playing this one.
So you're the asshole I keep hearing about, huh?
Yep.
Yo, you there? Stay with me. I'm taking you back.
You know, at this point in the original commentary, that's lost. I remember saying, I don't think the efficacy in this one's that good. No, I think this is a bad nut. You know, quoting the Willy Wonka factory thing. You know, the movie? The original? No. The 2000s movie. Which is actually an HD remake more akin to the original book than the 90s or 80s release. And yes, I've seen both of the movies, and quite frankly, I prefer the 2000s one. But I also wasn't expecting Monty Python to show up in the middle of a random kids movie based off of one of the most well-known book writers in the history of humans, at least if you're an English speaker. That was the one thing I wasn't expecting in that entire sit down. Just Monty Python showing up like fucking off of a computer. I have made this device that will tell us the location of the next golden ticket.
There he is.
Device gives him lip and tells him, well, that's cheating, isn't it? Cheating's not good, it's bad.
He's broke.
He's not gone. I feel something.
Oh, yes.
That's more like it. Earth to asshole!
He's been corrupted.
Kill him.
Now, this is the thing I sort of don't get.
Lucky you.
I've never seen anything like it. A fleeting moment, captured in the finest of red paints.
And, you know, I get the whole idea that, you know, the prophet here got corrupted by the thing he was trying to prevent. And, how noble it is. But we're also talking about the head that's been in a restaurant with a giant man-eating pig.
What about the door?
We were able to retrieve young
That's
Ho's
the
code.
one thing I have with this DLC.
The door.
I have too many fucking questions, and there isn't enough answers.
Great. I'm ready.
You know, at first, you know, looking at all the zombies and the enemies you find here, you know, just going off that alone, you think they had well, one of those things I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. Involving gimps and lever suits. You know, one of those wild mask parties.
There is no turning back. Are you ready?
I am. May Constantine guide my soul.
Joshua.
But
begin the infusion. Don't struggle. Hope.
Essentially, they...
How could you treat her like that?
Yeah, for a bit here, this Hope character, I got confused because we never see her.
Oh, God. How many people did they kill?
And apparently, for a moment, I got her confused with a character in the story, which, if that was her, this prequel sequel thing, that's what I'm going to call this. You know, parts of it take place before the events of what happened to Helle, but everything that occurs in it happened far before you even showed up.
Yongo,
But
so many downs a path to ascension. Not a rise. He had some unconventional.
Brink. That's an OSK thing. Why is a big tech brand on this stuff?
yeah, I can't get her name. Oh wait, hold on.
Too many doors in this place.
In the
Poisoned, zombified, and stabbed? But why? Seems like a lot of poison. Too much. Total overkill. They lied to them. And then they killed them.
Over here,
Huh?
on the screen.
What's this?
I am Constantine.
Oh yeah?
Front up! No screens or code names.
I am an artificial intelligence.
What? Like a computer?
I brought you here.
How? What's going on?
2 were sent to a very specific time and place. And there they found you.
What the fuck?
I'm going to bring this up. You may not like me for doing this, but they already did this in Dead Island 1.
Oh god. How the fuck did this happen? It's not meant to be like this.
But they did put a twist on it.
It was necessary to connect to your mind.
Yep.
You don't know me. You're just some psycho machine. You're not killing me like those other idiotas.
Only their
Also,
bodies die.
That's
Their
the
minds
confusing
are
bit.
with
I
me
thought that
in the
bandage
Ark
was
to
gone.
preserve humanity. I will let them tell you.
Hello? We've been watching. You make this look easy. Oh, my name is Hope, by the way.
I know who you are.
I'm here, in the Ark with the others. We will rebuild the human race, once the storm is past. But now, the Ark is being attacked. They'll suck
It's an
our
okay
souls
DLC
dry.
so far. The story
Please,
is a little confusing
we
on
need your help.
when you're supposed to start it.
The pattern is clear. You have the highest chance of
And,
success.
I will say that.
Wait, how can I help?
I might have different opinions if I played it from the very beginning to its end.
It was real? Hope and the others ascended?
Essentially, the Doomsday Cult turned out not to be a Doomsday Cult. In the traditional sense of how all Doomsday Cults end. The Doomsday did come. They did have their salvation.
You must do what must be done.
But there's a small glitch.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. Something they must discover.
Yeah, while I keep bringing up, this is the worst case scenario zombie virus. Essentially, the problem they're having is those head things that are exclusive to this area.
We will rejoin Iris.
They're...
And the others.
They apparently evolved to fuck with computers and electronics. Essentially spreading the infection to the machine. Now, the autophage is... it works by trying to corrupt and destroy the soul's ability to use the biomass. Essentially turning healthy people into infected in order to sprout the new man event. But you see, the problem with this is this means, you know, like I've been saying since the first game, yeah, there's no fucking way any
now?
regular Joe's going to survive this. For fuck's sakes, you are the chosen in this scenario. Yes, in the first game you were one of 4 smucks. I do like how they sort of integrated multiplayer in this game. You know, it doesn't take a forefront in the story like it does in the one out in the middle of nowhere. But, yeah, I have more words on this after I beat this game. You see, every time I finish beating a game, I do a review type thing, or an overview, then a review. Essentially, I rate things non-traditionally. I essentially rate it if it's worth your time and the money it would cost to get into this game. And or if it's worth it if you're performing a time capsule thing in the future. So Yeah, it's... I kind of like to do it. It's more of more like one of those video essay things than it is a true review. You know, people have their opinions, but facts are facts. A lot of people like this game's franchise. Gameplay in this game, top notch.
Where am I?
Hell fucking yeah! Let's go!
So, yeah, this is part of the Metrovania bullshit I mentioned about this entire DLC. They just gave us the ability to break those spongy flesh walls. But, you see, the problem I have is... So now you're telling me at any point in this DLC I could have just done these walls? Because it needs to be a new man rage attack? Unless he just gave me the ability to do that somehow right then and there. Oh yeah, I didn't know if it had to be that one specific crossbow or if it could be an upgraded one. Turns out it just has to be a crossbow.
Destroy the infection. Save the Ark.
But essentially, back to what I was saying a bit earlier with the autophage trying to remove the soul's ability to exist in the material plane and taking over its material. Essentially, the souls in this computer are still in a physical body. The autophage attacks physical bodies with souls. It takes me a bit. There it goes. So, essentially, the autophage is attacking this computer
Off the brains,
and
save the
has
Ark.
evolved to attack this computer. And it brings me to the point I've been saying this entire time. It's not a traditional disease. If anything, it's more closely related to Dead Space. And if you ask me, Dead Space isn't a true zombie either. The necromorph, that's a completely different idea altogether. I do feel like playing Dead Space, but I kind of want to not play a zombie game for a bit. Or a horde. You know, maybe an indie game of some kind. Maybe pull out one of the games I've been meaning to finish playing in my library. I might do Elden Ring at some point, but it's one of those things. It doesn't do well on YouTube. That, and it's one of those games that's so big and complex, I find myself watching more guides on how to do something than I do playing. That and the way I tend to play it is a really reliable way to play it, but it pretty much turns the game into one giant resource management hell in the long term. Hold on. Alright, so essentially, yeah, but it's not anytime soon anyway. Still need to finish the game and the other DLC. That, and there's apparently more DLC on its way, story-wise. Oh yeah, I remember this. I got stuck here trying to figure out what I needed to shoot. And I ended up having to look up a guide. Hold on, let me skip this bit. Just to show you guys how desperate I was trying to figure this out. Eventually I go around, come to the realization, wait, maybe I'm supposed to shoot all of these. And then I start going back to all the previous rooms, doing the same exact fucking thing, in order to come back here to learn each of these rooms is a sub-loaded zone. And by unloading the zone, it resets those power boxes. So obviously then I come to the realization that wasn't it. And I'll show you the solution here. Alright, so then I start following these tendrils because these usually mean there's something I need to shoot. And I come to the conclusion that if there is something to shoot, it's out of bounds. Because these tendrils go inside this wall. And then it takes me, I shit you not, it takes me an additional 20 minutes to realize there is, I also had the angle wrong. Well, let me cut. And then I realized there's little trap doors in the floor, and I think it has something to do with those. And then I just eventually realized they're just there. They have no interactivity. And they're a design choice. I also find out that that's an infinite arrow respawn. And then I realize I can hear the brain, but I can't find it. And then I shit you not, it's another 30 minutes of me running around like a chicken with my head cut off. trying to figure this puzzle out before I just give in and look up a guide. But this here is probably not a problem with the game, but user. For some reason, I still have all the Dead Island 1 and Riptide stuff in my head. And in those games, you could jump, but there really was little to no platforming. What platforming there was so ass, I ended up not realizing it was platforming. Yeah, there's this quest I realized was platforming. And I ended up skipping it because... But yeah, this entire time I just needed to jump in order to see the thing I needed to shoot. But yeah, this video is now 4 hours long. That's how much I had to cut out as of this timestamp. 3 hours 07 and 40 seconds. That's how again, for those of you who just came in, I had a recording bug due to vacation. This time around I wanted to sit down and record. So I'm doing all the commentary in post. The last dozen or so videos went scot-free with this, without this problem. So this, if you do go back to watch part 1 of me playing this, that's live commentated. Well, this DLC, part 1 of this series, is episode 1, but part 1 to this DLC is episode 2. So yeah, I will say the set design in this place feels really good. You know, they really went for the uncanny fever dream-esque aesthetic with the overline design of this place. And I like it. What I don't like is it does take a while for them to explain everything, but there's still a lot of questions. Like, I have at least, like, if they were trying to prevent the autophage from infesting their computer, then why did they turn all of their members into zombies after their brain was uploaded via technology? Because if they skipped that, then this problem wouldn't have happened. Unless it was key infrastructure within the mechanisms of how the Ark worked. You know, downloading the soul would destroy the body or the brain's ability to process normally, and the autophage can at least brute force the 80% you need to keep the 20% of the brain power alive to clone it. You know, motor functions, all that jazz. But I can definitely see sci-fi bullshit having the problem of, well, you know, the magic autophage. Again, I said this before, but it's not a traditional disease, in my opinion, when it comes to zombie media. It is the doomsday scenario. It's no virus, it's no fungus. It's literally the physicality of the human design falling apart to its threads and being reconstructed, ground up. You're one of the chosen new man, or immune to the virus, and essentially you're supposed to fuck off and become part of a super secret society type thing. Once everything is said and done. Also, I find out these orbs give you full rage. So those are neat. And it also sort of validates the whole autophage being combined with the sci-fi bullshit to begin with in order to download souls and the like. Now realizing it. So, yeah, the material body that they left behind got infested with the autophage, or had to be infested with the autophage in order to, well, download the brain. Copy it. Whatever. The autophage here
You're pretty
mutated
dumb to just sit there.
to adapt to this new environment. You know, it's supposed to remove essentially the souls that it deems unworthy. Hold on. But yeah, so essentially what I was getting on with this is essentially the autophage is more of a mystical judgment than it is a disease. It does work akin to a disease. That and the Dead Island 1 and Riptide virus was a failed attempt to by the mad scientist in this game to forcibly activate the autophage to develop a cure. In the first two, it sort of escaped and got mixed in with the Papua New Guinea disease. Which was actually based off a real disease in the real world. But for all intents and purposes, that was a prion. And it only affected those who ate not, partaken in ritualistic cannibalism. But yeah, this knife, it's fun to use, but it's not really my style. It looks fun. Main reason why I wanted to play with it is there is no footage of it. And again, I kind of feel like I already talked about that topic. I did start a character during vacation, and those might be a good set of claws for him. When he gets to the level requirement to use them. Yeah, that's one of the interesting things with this game. Items drop to the same level your character is. There is a cap to your level, but it's pseudo non-traditional RPG mechanics. About the only stats that increases your base damage and max health. Everything else is percentile. Everything else is mostly perk card system. There really is no definitive flat number increasing. Unless it's the weapon itself and your level damage modifier. It takes me a bit to realize there's broken glass here. And I'm supposed to time it. And it, even the later attempts, it still gives me a few problems. If you watch this Accursed Farms video, I know that channel. Pretty interesting, I highly recommend it. It's mostly a guy pulling out really old and ancient games that are long forgotten. And they're PC titles. Literally, PC games are one of the least cared about of all of the video game libraries, especially early on. You know, and even today, who's going to care about this random DOS game? Or this random Windows Vista game? Who's going to sit down and decide to go through the trouble of saving it for future generations? Even when the company went bankrupt making the game? You know, that kind of stuff. Heavily recommended. Cursed Farms. But, one of his videos, I forget which one, he coined the phrase gamer amnesia. Which I kind of feel like this is an instance of that, with the head thing. The brain thing. Essentially, I get the timing down pat, 100%. And I feel like I'm doing the same exact thing, but something in the calculation is just not there, and it I think I nail like 50 times in a row the same dead zone.
Let's go.
In a later attempt, it took me a few attempts to do this. especially during Phase 2. I say Phase 3 was a hell of a lot easier than Phase 2. Hold on. But, yeah, so, yeah, essentially, gamer amnesia. I think I got interrupted before I could finish that tangent. Essentially, pointed. Essentially, he did the same exact thing for 15 minutes. Then, for like 5 hours, and then out of nowhere, that same thing he's been doing stopped working. Out of nowhere. And he had to completely learn a completely new method to do. Mid-live stream. But, yeah, I fucking hate that mutator in this fight with a passion. You know, I'm okay with having the mutator as, a crown jewel in the fight, but oh yeah, you have to redo Phase 1 every time you fail that one. Fail in Phase 2. Lucky, I did not fail Phase 3 at all. Oh yeah, I think this is where that gamer amnesia thing kicks in. So...
Talent, huh?
Yeah, don't know what happened there, but definitely I got out of sync to what I originally did, somehow. But, yeah, good news is I got really good at killing this crusher without using medkits. That heal burst thing, but I don't know if it's actually useful. You know, it does stagger pretty much anything, but the damage on it is shit. That, and for some reason, out of nowhere, during this fight, my medkits aren't healing as much as they should. That, and it doesn't help that this blade is not as good as leeching as some of my other items.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from a few hiccups here and there, this was an interesting boss fight. Sort of borders that old-timey in-between of action and puzzle. I say sort of. It's a very simple puzzle. But it kind of reminds me of those old days where boss fights were equal puzzle and skill. But yeah, I fucking hate that guy. Also, in this time, I learned there's also a fire bastard running around somewhere. Which makes everything else hard to deal with and hard to see. You know, that's the one thing I don't get in MMORPGs. A lot of fire everywhere tends to obscure your vision. So, if you're like a mage running around with fire armor, you know, you should be at least half blind. And that's before something like Molten Shield or Molten Armor from Path of Exile procs. Yeah. Aside from, in my opinion, a bullshit phase 2, bland phase 1, that's more of a chore than actually a fun time. Also, for some reason, this attempt, they give me 2 thudders. But I could have sworn there was only one beefy boy in previous attempts. No, let me go back here. Let me go ahead and make sure there was only one of those the previous few attempts. There was 2. I just killed one of them so fast, I thought he fell over and got back up. Oh, I'm also pretty sure the time before that,
Yeah, speed it up, let's go.
There was no fire lobber. You know, the first time I went against the mimic thing. All right. So I think this time I focus in on the fire lobber. Yep, that's it. And I also keep forgetting I have this one theory lasts longer the more ads I kill. And then I learned there's actually 2 fire lockers. Well, so by the by, when I realized this was the final boss of the DLC, I was a little pissed. Partly because I managed to get 80, like, the first 2 hours of this DLC done right out of the gate of the tutorial, but I got curb stomped by that one boss.
Challenge, huh?
So hard. I learned I wasn't supposed to be there. You know, I think they intended for an older player to turn on the game and go. Not a noob, but for some reason they kept in the ability for the noob to do so as well. But at any rate, yeah, that pig banger boss, I know the pig, he is horribly scaled. Practically, I had to kill him with guns, but, you know, you can't kill him with guns if you haven't unlocked guns in the story. I don't even think I even did that Sam beat plus where you get the guns at that point. But, phase 1 done.
Yeah, get up, let's go!
I really felt this run would be it, since I didn't use any health packs so far. Oh, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. So... pretty much my only complaint with this DLC is there wasn't enough variation of the enemies. You know, you could have used a truly unique enemy, not recycled enemies from the base game. But considering you could accidentally start this DLC out of the gate of the fucking tutorial, I'm actually surprised that they just didn't throw one of those mutators at us instead of the pig. I will say the pig, he was an okay boss fight. He was a gatekeeper boss, in my opinion. You know, the type of thing you put somewhere to prevent early players from accidentally wandering in to a high-level area. You know, just to curb stomp them, scare them off, come back later.
Challenge, huh?
But once you're at the correct level to even put up any threat with him, he's a forgettable hit. But everything else is open game. So that sort of brings me to a little point I kinda don't get. Bleed. Yeah, I get it, it does damage when something moves. But of all the dots in any RPG, it seems the least appealing, stat-wise, you know. Yes, it does damage. It usually does a lot of damage. In this game, it's almost forgettable amount of damage. You're not even sure if you killed it or the bleed killed it. But that's my playstyle. I kill everything. And this knife thing is not my normal wheelhouse. Oh, this is when I realized I never swapped off of the Molotov. I had that from like for a Pacific Quest a few episodes ago. Now, I'm trying to decide which would be better, frag grenade or one of the elemental bombs. Definitely not Molotov, because there's already too much fire. Oh, hold on. Never mind, I thought I went AFK. Yep, it takes me a while to read things. So, essentially, the bait bomb is really good at taking care of the rabble. You know, the weak rabble. Or soften up a big crowd. It's probably my favorite curveball, but Molotov cocktail, it was barely usable when you first got it. Its purpose is to incinerate weak enemies. Caustic bomb, its main purpose is to do the same thing, melt the weak stuff. Or there we go. So, I think this is the last attempt. Because there's only 20 minutes left, and I know about 5 minutes of that is me trying to figure out the story here, which I already done a bit earlier this episode, to doubly make sure, because the story of this DLC is definitely hard to follow playing it, really. You don't get the nuance from playing it unless you get all the secret tapes and all that bullshit. Essentially, I came to the conclusion Caustic would be the best thing to use against all of these enemies. Spend half of my fury on the mutator, move on to the fire spitter, and go back to the mutator once I have fury again. Since my build is essentially kill master, That's not my official name for it, but that's what it does. It's really good at killing shit and ignoring everything. I like the idea of a ravaging tank opposed to a tank it. You know, blocking and all that bullshit. But that's literally ignoring half of, well, the combat system of this game. And, you know, this Fury mode, mandatory Fury mode is fun and all, but gameplay-wise, it's, well, fun. But it automatically throws away the potential intrigue that fight had out the window, but to be honest, after phase that as phase 2,
Grab all my loot first.
it's kind of a blessing that they decided to give us a freebie phase 3. I do like it, since this game has that as an option, that they occasionally just, alright, we tortured them enough, let's make them feel like a badass again. Yeah, the developers are really good at that.
The Ark is saved.
Okay, well, I need to hit the road.
We have a gift for you. Approach.
So what? I just saved the human race back there?
Not yet. But in all possible futures, at the crucial moment, you are always there. All futures.
This is safe, right?
No life can be safe. Approach.
Approach and receive thy giving.
Because I don't want to get zapped.
Take it and be happy. But yeah, this is the part that confused me.
Thank you.
For a bit there, I thought this DLC was implying that Hope was that character, the one with the crossbow. You know, the daughter of the doctor. But it's also, I did see the ending to this game. To be honest, it's not terribly unique in my opinion, because they literally ripped it from the previous
That
games.
never happened. No way.
There is no cure. There is no cure. The moment the fuckhead uses the cure, they get turned into something you have to fucking kill. So, yeah, this is the trope with this series. There is no cure. Anyone who thinks there is a delusional idiot who's going to get everyone around him killed. So, yeah, that's the theme in this series. There is no cure. So, yeah, that black and white flashback bullshit really made me think this was supposed to be played after you beat the game. You know, for continuity purposes. And then I remembered the entire design and feel of this DLC is a fever dream. For fuck's sakes, it literally ends with you waking up in a hot tub. Either crying or sweating. Next to a bottle of booze. Oh, and a table of drugs. Don't forget the table of drugs. But, yeah, I hope you liked this episode. Hope to see you next time. Hopefully next time I have live commentary. I do know I get a little too uppity in non-live commentary. Matter of fact, the main reason why I went to live commentary was both because it's easier to edit, you know, be more diligent in editing when recording than edit the recording and then voice over it. But yeah, that's this is an older way of how I used to do the channel. But that was when I was playing Dragon's Dogma. Oh yeah, yeah. I heavily recommend looking at the retro quasar thing I do. Oh, I think it's still up. No, I'll have to put the backups of the podcasts I've done on this channel, because when I do this one, this. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Hope to see you guys next time. I might, I'll definitely retool that podcast I used to do called Retro Quasar. This will be one of the games that brings it back. But it's a mashup type thing. Retro Quasar's the name of the channel. I do more than just games, but books as well. But I hope to see you guys next time. Hope to see you around for that. But I'll get around to doing Retro Quasar again after this series is done. You know, the game series for Dead Island franchise as of now. Hopefully another DLC doesn't come out immediately after I make the episode. Hopefully a new DLC that's practically a completely new fucking game doesn't come out. By the way, I don't think Neighborhood Watch is tied into the base game or the story of the series. It's literally a completely new game built within a game. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.